Do 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 do. Hey, how's it going? It's Nancy Gamon. My good friend Betsy Terrell gave me a wonderful supply of felted sweaters recently. I'm getting ready to create some cozy throw pillows out of them, but first I'm embellishing them with some hand embroidery using a technique called a blanket stitch. Come on, I'll show you how it's done. I'm all set to go here. I have a square of felted sweater and a triangle of another felted sweater that I'm just going to pin in place with a little straight pin here. I've got my snips and my sewing needle, which I've threaded with some embroidery floss. This is the kind of floss that has 6 strands to it. I divided it in half, so there's just 3 strands going through the eye of the needle, and then it's doubled in length, and I tied a knot in one end. I'm going to start by coming up from underneath, from the wrong side, just very close to the edge of this red triangle, coming through the square close to the edge of the red. And the way this stitch works is that I'm going to go down 1/4 of an inch each time and in 1/4 of an inch each time. So I'm going down 1/4, in 1/4, putting my needle and then coming out again close to the edge of the red felt. Pulling that tight, going down 1/4, in 1/4. And when I pull, I'm keeping the tail end underneath where I'm stitching so that the needle's coming up above that and it's creating this loop. So I'm going to do a few more stitches here, down 1/4, in 1/4, coming out close to the edge above the previous thread. And now you can see how this is starting to create a decorative border along the edge that probably seems familiar. You may have seen this on other blankets or stitched felted items. So I'm going to, continue my way around the triangle, just extending the length of my thread as I need to while I go, so that I don't want to catch it like I just did. So I'm going to pull out a little bit more of that so that it doesn't get caught. And then I'm just going to continue around the rest of the triangle. When I get back to the starting point, I'll put the needle back through close to where I began. And once I get to the wrong side, I'll just do 2 or 3 stitches in place, taking a little bit, and then I usually poke the needle through this loop to create a knot. And I'll do that a couple more times, just taking a tiny stitch, sending the needle through the loop. One more time. And then I'll use my snips here to cut it about 1/4 of an inch from the fabric. take out my pin, and there's my pretty little triangle. In the next video, I'll show you how to stitch together the squares to make a cozy pillow. In the meantime, check out my website at nancygamon.com, where you can see the current list of workshops. Do